From our studio in Kuching, Sarawak, this is TVS Nightline. You're me, Douglas Elliott, and we begin with our top story. The Sarawak State Government will continue to prioritize sustainability in its development agenda. Chief Minister Datuk Petinggi Abang Johari Tun Openg said several green initiatives had taken place in Sarawak, including the adoption of a hydrogen economy.
And I hope that this direction will position us with the rest of the world in trying to have sustainability in our development plan.
He was speaking during a contract signing ceremony between Brook Dockyard and Engineering Works Corporation and Sarawak Shell Berhad today. The contract is for engineering, procurement and construction (EPC) of a fixed offshore structure works for the development of Shell's TMI gas field situated approximately 200 kilometers off the coast of Miri. Commenting on TMI gas field, Abang Johari said he was happy that the Sweet gas field covered in 2018 is Shell's first wellhead platform in Malaysia that is powered by a solar and wind hybrid renewable power system.
Indeed, I would like to commend Shell for embarking on this bold move that sits well within the state's green economy agenda, and how we can move towards a faster energy transition. I am also looking forward to Shell's upcoming investment in Bintulu with an onshore gas plant, another facility offshore in the coming years.
The Election Commission has confirmed that it has received the official notification from Sarawak Chief Minister regarding the lifting of the emergency proclamation in Sarawak on November 3rd, following which the EC will convene soon to discuss matters concerning the 12th Sarawak state election. Its Secretary, Dr. Ikmaluddin Ishak, said that under Section 3(3) of the Emergency Essential Powers Sarawak Ordinance 2021, the State Legislative Assembly will be dissolved on the date the emergency in Sarawak is revoked or annulled. He added that under Section 3(4) of the same ordinance, an election must be held within 60 days of the date the emergency is revoked or annulled. The date of the meeting, however, would be announced soon. The Sarawak Legislative Assembly was due to dissolve on June 7th, but the state election was postponed due to the nationwide emergency and the subsequent emergency in Sarawak announced in August. On Wednesday, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Al-Sultan Abdullah Riyatuddin Al-Mustafa Bilal Shah, consented to the lifting of the emergency in Sarawak much earlier than its scheduled February 2022 date. With election fever drawing near, Deputy Chief Minister Datuk Amar Awang Tengah Ali Hassan said that the current Gabungan Party Sarawak or GPS acts as a caretaker government, noting that the election should be held within 60 days after the emergency in Sarawak was lifted.
Setelah ianya ditamatkan, then we have to have election within 60 days. Bila ianya akan dibuat, itu bergantung kepada SPR. Dewan Undangan Negeri dah tamat, ya, tapi disebabkan oleh emergency ordinance. Jadi ianya di election tidak dilakukan. Jadi setelah ianya ditamatkan, then we have to have election within 60 days.
Nonetheless, he added that the matter also falls on the Election Commission to decide. He advised everyone to remain calm and wait for the official announcement. The drafting of the Standard Operating Procedures or SOPs to be used in the coming Sarawak state election will be finalized by the Health Ministry and the Election Commission, as the two bodies would have the say on the matter. Sarawak Disaster Management Committee SDMC Chairman Dr. Ahmad Douglas Uga Umbas said his committee might be invited to give its input before the SOPs are drawn up. Commenting on the emergency order, the Deputy Chief Minister said it was to pave the way for Sarawak to conduct the 12th state election, which had been plagued by delays, adding that it is up to the head of state and the Chief Minister to decide on the date. Meanwhile, he assures that the COVID-19 vaccination and the administering of booster dose programs would proceed uninterrupted even during the election. The 12th state election should be held either in November or December. According to the Minister and the Prime Minister's Parliament and Law, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar, this is to avoid the election to coincide with the annual monsoon season in January till March.
Walaupun 60 hari, maknanya bulan November hingga Disember tu, sekarang kita boleh sampai bulan Januari. Tapi bulan Januari adalah musim landas di Sarawak. Orang Semenanjung kata musim tengkujuh. Yeah. Kita kena mengetahui bahawa musim tengkujuh di Semenanjung bermula bulan 9, 10, 11 dan 12. Di Sarawak, musim landas ini bermula bulan Januari, Februari dan Mac. Jadi memang saya berpengalaman di kawasan bahawa adalah tidak sesuai untuk mengadakan pilihan raya bulan Januari, Februari dan Mac. Kenanya hujan, banjir, angin kuat, angin kencang, hujan lebat, semua ni mendatangkan satu berbahayalah kepada semua pihak. Bukan kepada pihak parti tetapi pihak SPR yang menghantar kotak-kotak undi itu ke pendalaman semua menggunakan helikopter. Jadi dalam keadaan semikian, naik helikopter kah ataupun naik bot kah adalah tidak selamat.
Touching on the standard operating procedures to be used for the election, the Santubong Member of Parliament does not agree that Sarawak should emulate Malacca's SOP. He reasoned that the geographical sizes between the two are vastly different and could not be applied here.
Sarawak mempunyai masih 40% orang masih duduk di luar bandar. Betul. Yang di luar bandar ni, dia tak boleh lah. Kita kena beri peluang dengan exercise or democratic practice ni. Dia tak boleh menggunakan digital punya tu, tak boleh guna wifi, tak guna telefon dan sebagainya. Jadi akhirnya komunikasi pihak-pihak tertentu untuk berkempen menerusi digital tidak akan boleh dilaksana di Sarawak.
Therefore, he opined that the National Security Council and the Ministry of Health should hold discussions with the Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee in drafting the SOP. And as the election season is ramping up, Sarawakians eagerly await for the nomination date for the next state election. Minister of Welfare, Community Wellbeing, Women, Family and Childhood Development, Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah, told poll workers should hit the high gear in preparation for the election. She noted that the election period this time around will be different than the previous ones, as COVID-19 presents brand new challenges for the party workers. She said that COVID-19 has been extremely tough for party workers, especially women campaigners who would often campaign face-to-face and from house to house. Nonetheless, Fatima said that the women party workers are in high spirit and are ready for the 12th state election.
Orang bekas panduan manakala adiknya Awi seorang penyanyi popular. Namun, tragedi yang menimpa keluarga memberi tekanan kepada ayah mereka. Adakah kejadian itu menyimpan sebuah rahsia di sebaliknya?
Cepat pada saya, ayah. Tunggu dulu. Lebih baik kau terangkan kepada ayah.
Sebuah filem aksi arahan Datuk Yusof Haslam. Saksikan Pemburu Bayang Sabtu ini jam 9 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV.
Bagi saya, seorang artis itu perlu ada sifat berdikari dan cekal. Untuk maju, kita jangan membataskan diri dengan apa yang kita tahu saja. Dunia seni itu luas, apatah lagi dengan teknologi yang bergerak pantas sekarang. Luahkan bakat itu, mana tahu boleh menjadi punca rezeki anda.
As long as you do something that you quite enjoy, it's also happiness already. Yeah.
欢迎来到家有大厨。 我是 Christy，
我是 Bryce，
跟我们一起与不同的厨师学习如何烹饪多元种族的美味健康佳肴。
从菜巴萨到餐桌前，在这一集中，我们将与厨师英庆一起烹饪美味佳肴，
千万别错过哟！Welcome back. Established in 2018, Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS have an excellent streak in governing the state over many years. In fact, the proven service track record of its four component parties potentially serves as a big asset for the coalition to win big in the impending state election.
GPS Secretary-General Datuk Sri Alexander Nanta Linggi is confident that the voters will give the GPS a fresh mandate to administer Sarawak for the next 5 years, despite the fact that it will not be using the Barisan Nasional logo as it left the coalition in June 2018.
Berapa kursi kita menang, saya tak nak buat apa kata ramalan dah, tak perlulah. Tapi saya ingat kita boleh menang besar. Jadi sebab betul kita ada track record. Walaupun kita menggunakan lambang baru, tapi rakyat mengetahui siapa yang memimpin. Ya. Jadi track record kita ini adalah modal besar, dan track record kita ini lebih-lebih lagi dalam 2-3 tahun ke belakang ini saja. Projek-projek berlipat ganda.
He added GPS will contest in all 82 state constituencies in the polls. As the individuals who registered GPS and its logo himself, Nanta said although the use of the Hornbill logo may cause some confusion among voters, it was nothing much to worry about, as the people know who were the ones who were doing their jobs. The Kapit Member of Parliament also said the challenge may be focused on the newly elected candidates who will be nominated in the PRN, where the younger generation should be supported and given the opportunity to compete as they are more energetic. As such, he said the challenges expected may be focused on the new faces, but added it was inevitable that young and energetic candidates must be given a chance to contest.
Walaupun mereka ini muka baru sebagai calon, tapi kita perhati mereka ini bukan orang asing di kalangan rakyat. Sebab itu kita pilih dia jadi calon. Kita sediakan dengan baik-baik, sebaik-baik mungkin kita dapat boleh menangkan. Jadi, ya, saya 5 kali sudah bertanding, menang besar 3 kali, tanpa bertanding 2 kali. Saya tak pernah overconfident. Lebih elok, lebih baik kalau kita bersedia selengkap-lengkapnya. Jangan terlalu yakin.
Nanta, who is also Minister of Domestic Trade and Consumers Affairs, said Sarawak's struggle in claiming its right as contained in the 1963 Malaysia Agreement MA63, one of which was to secure larger financial resources, was for the benefit of its people. Besides physical development projects, Nanta said during the COVID-19 pandemic, in addition to the federal aid, the Sarawak government used a lot of its own funds to help those impacted. In fact, he said the rapid rate of full vaccination in Sarawak prior to this was also contributed by the state government through its own funds to help the Ministry of Health MOH teams cover remote areas.
And echoing the same ethos, Parti Pusaka Bumiputra Bersatu or PBB Vice President Datuk Sri Dr. Stephen Rundi Uttam believes that Gabungan Parti Rakyat Sarawak machinery is well oiled to face the upcoming election. Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS comprise 4 component parties, namely Parti Pusaka Bumiputra Bersatu (PBB), Parti Rakyat Sarawak (PRS), Sarawak United People's Party (SUPP), and Progressive Democratic Party (PDP).
Jadi kita Gabungan Parti Sarawak telah pun menyediakan jentera-jentera parti untuk kita menghadapi pilihan raya. Jadi tidak menjadi kemuskilan atau masalah kepada kita. Cuma kita sekarang menunggu arahan seterusnya daripada Suruhanjaya Pilihan Raya. Jadi apabila ditetapkan nanti, kita akan bersedia untuk menghadapi pilihan raya ke-12 Sarawak. Jadi dari segi persediaan tidak ada masalah untuk gabungan Parti Sarawak dan juga parti-parti, komponen parti dalam gabungan Parti Sarawak telah pun memang bersedia dari dulu lagi.
He added that GPS is ready to face the opposition and is determined to win more seats. In the last Sarawak state election held in 2016, the 4 local parties won 72 of the 82 seats contested before deciding to quit BN and set up GPS in 2018. Now, questions have been looming on the current state of the State Legislative Assembly, or DUN, and what can we expect in the next few days, following the emergency ordinance to have officially been lifted by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong yesterday. We got in touch with lawyer Shankar Ram Asnani to explain in detail the matter.
When the emergency ordinance was lifted by His Majesty the Agong, what would happen is that automatically DUN is dissolved. Okay, so basically the next step that should happen is the Speaker of Dewan Undangan Negeri, Dato' Amar Asia, would have to come out and make a statement to that effect and make the announcement, you know. So these are constitutional steps that will pave a way to Sarawak elections.
When asked on how soon can Sarawakians expect the 12 seat elections to happen, this is what he has to say.
It is within the boundaries of the election laws, 60 days. But if we take it today, from yesterday when the emergency ordinance was lifted, 3rd of November, so we have rightly 60 days, you know. So, but then it will depend on the election commission of what they want to implement, tight SOPs and all that. But I think the election should be very, very near. But I can't say. Maybe it could be even in December. We don't know. So this is up to the administrators, you know, and what they deem fit and proper. Now, we wish the Sarawak government all the best.
Shankar Ram also took the opportunity to wish those who are celebrating a joyous happy Deepavali.
I wish everyone a happy Diwali 2021, and I wish for a prosperous and a strong Sarawak. I wish that GPS and SUPP and all the parties, the component parties that form the Sarawak government, all the success in the upcoming election. And I think we need them under the leadership of the Right Honourable Chief Minister Abang Jo, who is a very moderate person. We can unite and forge a very strong team, and you know, for the future of our people in Sarawak. I wish them a beautiful Diwali day.
Express and stage bus services in Sarawak are allowed full capacity from tomorrow onwards. State Disaster Management Committee SDMC in a statement today said the decision was made based on the suggestion by the Sarawak Ministry of Transport after considering the overall high vaccination rate against COVID-19 in the state. Passengers, however, are reminded to comply with the standard operating procedures set by the Ministry of Health. SDMC also stated that only 11 of the 527 COVID-19 new positive cases reported today in Sarawak had lung infection and requiring respiratory support. The remaining 516 cases consist mild or no symptoms. The additional cases today have brought the cumulative number in Sarawak to 243,119. 19 deaths from COVID-19 were recorded in the state between October 6 and November 2nd, while there are still 27 active clusters in the state. Beginning November 8th, school attendance without rotation will increase. According to Senior Education Minister Dr. Razif Jidin, the decision is subject to the study and analysis of the Ministry of Health and the National Security Council.
Minggu ini kehadiran murid ke sekolah adalah seramai lebih 1.3 juta orang. Kita start di peringkat awal ini, pembukaan sekolah dulu dengan berapa ratus ribu sahaja. Kemudian meningkat dan terus meningkat, dan kita akan dapat lihat bahawa lebih banyak negeri yang telah masuk ke fasa 4 yang akan mengikut ketetapan pembukaan sekolah di fasa 4. Selain daripada itu juga, bermula 8 November untuk murid-murid kelas peperiksaan SPM dan STPM, mereka di mana sekolah mereka telah mencapai kadar vaksinasi 90% dan ke atas, mereka boleh kembali ke sekolah tanpa penggiliran. Jadi bermula 8 November kita akan dapat lihat lebih ramai murid yang akan hadir ke sekolah.
Commenting on the progress of school reopening, Razi said that overall it was running smoothly and student attendance showed an increase in compliance with standard operating procedures. He added that thus far, nothing has arisen regarding the reopening of schools. And while looking at the good attendance at schools, as well as the operation at this time around, he is confident it will give more confidence to parents to send their children to school. A 29-year-old was killed after she was involved in a single vehicle collision at Kampung Sorak Melayu, Kilometer 5 of Jalan Serian, Tebadu. Prior to the 7 a.m. incident, the victim, identified as Nur Amiza Amira, was making her way from Tebadu to Serian when it is believed that she lost control of her vehicle, veered off the road and rammed into a concrete culvert.
According to the Serian Fire Station Chief James Ghani, the victim, who hailed from Semarahan, was a teacher from SMK Tebadu, was pinned in the wreckage and had to be extricated by firefighters.
Oh, dia semasa tu tiba di situ, mangsa sebenarnya berada di tempat duduk lah, tempat duduk pemandu tu. Jadi kenderaan dia melanggar yang apa tu tadi, yang culvert tu, yang diletakkan di tepi jalan. Saya rasa dia terbabas ni. Cuaca pada pagi itu adalah hujan lah pagi tadi. Memang hujan. Dan mangsa kita dipahamkan, mangsa tu dia seorang cikgu yang mengajar di SMK Tebadu lah.
Nur Amiza was pronounced dead at the scene as she suffered severe injuries to her head and neck. The deceased body was transferred to Serian Hospital for further action. The case is being investigated under Section 41(1) of the Road Transport Act 1987.
Dalam episod akan datang, Empresses in the Palace.
如此看来，婉贵人，你好狠心呐！在与不在，本宫进去一看便知。
娘娘，里面实在没有旁人，娘娘真的不必进去看了。
奴婢遵从皇上圣旨，实在不敢放娘娘进去，望娘娘恕罪。
你竟敢阻拦本宫！
娘娘，小下的听得遮遮的，皇上称严大将军为恩女。娘娘，
Jangan lupa, Isnin hingga Khamis, 9:30 malam, Empresses in the Palace.
公主时日还长，我们走着瞧吧。
TVS saluran 122 Astro dan My TV. Batu Kitang, sebuah subbandar yang berkedudukan strategik kerana dikelilingi kawasan Kuching Utara, Selatan, Semarahan dan juga Bau. Pembangunan di kawasan ini didorong oleh pertumbuhan ekonomi yang pesat di Sarawak, lebih-lebih lagi di kawasan bandar. Kawasan Dun Batu Kitang yang berkeluasan 80 km persegi ini menempatkan lebih kurang 30,000 orang penduduk berlainan bangsa. Batu Kitang sememangnya mempunyai tarikan yang tersendiri. Kawasan ini terkenal dengan acara sukan air tahunannya iaitu Mini Regatta Batu Kitang. Di bawah rancangan Malaysia ke-12, projek menaik taraf, kapasiti loji nombor 2 dan loji nombor 4 di loji rawatan air Batu Kitang serta projek pembinaan sebuah loji rawatan air di Landeh juga sedang giat dijalankan yang keseluruhannya menelan kos 1.2 bilion ringgit.
welcome back. A zoo in Indonesia is breeding Komodo dragons in an effort to save the world's largest lizards from extinction, with climate change posing new dangers for the fearsome creatures. The zoo has built up its Komodo dragon population to 108 adults and 35 young ones, with 40 eggs being incubated. The giant lizards are only found on the remote island of Komodo and several neighboring islands in eastern Indonesia. In September, the International Union for Conservation of Nature categorized them under its red list of threatened species, citing an increasing threat posed by the impact of climate change. Rising global temperatures and sea levels are expected to reduce the Komodo dragon's suitable habitat by at least 30% in the next 45 years. Zoo officials hope that their efforts to save the lizards will draw the attention of world leaders gathered in Glasgow to take steps to fight climate change.
Ya, harapan ada perhatian lah. Jangan sampai satwa yang hampir punah itu akhirnya punah, nggak bisa dikembangkan. Akhirnya nanti dari anak dan cucu kita nanti tahu mana sih namanya komodo, cuma hanya gambar aja, cuma nggak bisa lihat langsung. Nah, itu harapan saya untuk dikembangbiakkan lebih baik dan benar gitu aja.
Zookeeper Rukin said the temperature and humidity had to be just right for optimal mating.
Yang pertama faktor suhu, yang kedua adalah perkawinan tadi saya sebutkan. Yang ketiga adalah kecocokan antara yang merawat dan yang dirawat, dan keuletan lah dari yang merawat tersebut itu.
Sukses breeding ini bisa dijadikan program pemerintah, ya, program pemerintah di dalam hal sistem breeding yang bisa dikembangkan di seluruh LK yang ada di Indonesia. Di mana ini nantinya tentu akan memberikan poin percepatan dalam mencapai opini kepada dunia internasional bahwa breeding komodo di Indonesia dimulai titik sentralnya adalah di Kebun Binatang Surabaya.
And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. And as Hindus around the world celebrate the Festival of Light here at TVS, we would like to wish our viewers a happy Deepavali. We end Nightline tonight with a few Deepavali greetings from our friends at TVS. I'm Tegas Elliott. Thank you and good night.
For those who are celebrating Deepavali, happy Deepavali. May the Festival of Light bring you joy, happiness and prosperity. Make sure when you're out there, take good care of yourself and follow the SOP. Kita jaga kita.
Hello, hi, Pinagaran here. I'd like to wish everyone a happy Deepavali, especially TVS viewers. Although we are still battling with the COVID-19 pandemic, I hope everyone had a very joyous celebration and still comply with SOPs. And ininya Deepavali Nalwaltuka.